this and this and this and this and this.
Mhm.
You do 12 things,
Mhm.
which is great. But what might be helpful is, what is your primary business? If it's packing and moving, awesome.
Mhm.
The way I make myself different and help people is, I actually have a background in social work, so I can make this painless. But what I've heard you say is, I've got this great packing company and I can help, organize you and your business or your move or whatever. I'm a social worker, and if you have problems, I can take care of that too, and I can help you with any, those needs and whatever that you have. And and so there's no tie-in necessarily. I mean, what I did with my tie-in is, I have a background in industrial organizational psychology.
Mhm.
Do I do coaching? Yes. Have I done life coaching? Yes, for years. Do I do those things as well?
Mhm.
Yeah, but I don't want to diffuse people by saying, oh yeah, I'm a graphic designer. Well, I also do life coaching, and I also do business consulting, sort of thing. So I'm a graphic designer, and I help people with my background in psychology create pieces by my primary business, create a successful piece for them by using all my resources and my skills. So I may encourage you to simplify your card and
Mhm.
create more of a target market and really see who that target market is. And maybe there's 3 or 4,
Mhm.
And so identify them, what their needs are on that card.
Mm.
We were talking about wasted space on the back of your card. Sure. Wasted space on the back of your card.
Mhm.
What I see time and time again. So, go back with me to, you don't know anybody, the internet doesn't exist, or even if it does, but we'll say it doesn't for right now, and you're at home and you have the yellow pages and you need a plumber. Or you need a chiropractor. That's a perfect example. You need a chiropractor, right? Somebody had asked for one, right? So you're sitting there and you're like, who do I go to? Anderson's Chiropractic, Miller's Chiropractic, blah, 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 right? But you see in the ad, one that says, and your left shoulder is tingling, right? And so you see in all the digits and, Anderson's, and here's his address and phone number, whatever, fix any pain. General statement, right? Fix any pain. And then you see one off to the side and it has an ad and it says, numbness in your shoulders, pain in your right ankle, trouble walking. That person that has that specific need is going to be much more likely to go to that person because they've identified something that they specialize in.
Yeah.
So if you do the small offices from 1 to 5 employees, 2,000 square feet or less, that may not be where you want to be, but maybe it's a home, family moving across state. I can get you packed and moved in 5 days. Whatever the case is. But if you identify what those markets are, then on the back of your card, you can highlight with a bullet point or something that specific target market. So you're reaching 3 or 4 of them, potentially, but your constant message is, I pack and organize. And small businesses, large businesses, whatever. But give them a tangible that they can hang on to. Yeah, we had one question here first. Yeah.
Well, I want to mention that you also have to realize, everybody, that, and Kathy can testify to this, your main marketing funnel has got to be Google. You can build a website, you might as well put your billboard out in the Sahara Desert.
Right.
If nobody can find it, so you have to think, what are people going to search for? What search terms are my clients going to be typing into Google? And then, how do I make my website respond to that? And that's one of the most important things anybody can do.
Great. Oh wait, he was first, I'm sorry.
Well, I had just a funny technical question.
Okay.
So I have a little white space on the back of my card because I always write a quote on the back of it, and so I typically will, at the scene or whatever I'm doing,
You'll handwrite it in?
I'll write it right there because
Great.
I do a day job too that's kind of in line with it.
Okay.
And so, like I said, I just opened up a store. Me and my coworker, we argued this day about glue versus staples because I just drew out a little map on the rest of the cards and stapled it to it. I think staples were better because there's less sticky residue, and he was like, but it looks so tacky with the staple through it.
Yeah.
I just want your opinion on that.
Me, I would never staple a card
No,
unless
never.
it's to a flyer, but usually if there's any way around it, I would do a paper clip, or I would do it stapled very much on the end, but that's only if I'm putting it to a whole flyer that I'm passing out with information. Other than that, it's, why are they attached? What is that other piece that's so valuable that you're trying to staple to it?
It's that we opened the store.
Okay, so it's a little flyer that you're attaching it to?
It's just a map just a little map so you can see where to
Redo
go.
the card.
Oh, no, hand him a second card.
Okay.
Yeah. Or
Put it
have a
right on the
website
It
and
is
have it
on
on
the
your
website.
website. Okay, great.
Just make a card with the map on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for now, until we get those cards in.
Right.
As far as for marketing, is there a different mindset to a nonprofit versus a for-profit where you're trying to bring in the community into your service?
Absolutely. You know, with the nonprofits, there's a few things that you want to shoot for, and that is how can you get more organizations involved, because now they're going to help spread your message, for one. And I run into this as a designer all the time. You know, I'll do invitations or for a gala or a fundraiser sort of thing, and they're like, don't do it in full color because it's going to look like we spent too much money, right? So there's this perception. So perception, is critical for all of our businesses. It's who is our competition, if we have any, and I don't necessarily like that word because to me there's plenty to go around. So who is also in our field is probably a better way to say that might also be gathering our business. If they have full color glossy and blah 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 and 3 brochures, whatever sort of thing, do you need that or not? Sometimes the answer is yes, or something that gives you in a level playing field. Right? Does that make sense? So the nonprofits, you got to be cautious. I mean, a lot of times I will design even though I'm printing at a full color print house because it's cheaper, than doing it on a printing press in 2 color. But I'll design it in 2 color so it looks like to the consumer that I haven't spent way too much money. Because why would you want to spend all this money on their invitation to come to their gala to raise funds for their nonprofit? So there's a it's a weird balance, and I hear that time and time again with nonprofits that are just like, no, we need the money. I'm like, great, no problem. One thing with nonprofits that I'll share with you that I think some designers will do, maybe some won't, but usually nonprofits are funded by multiple different budget line items, sort of thing. Some for advertising, some for this, some for that. There's some designers that will probably work with you with a budget to where it's like, okay, I need to do all these things. I've had times where I've had somebody that's like, we got to use up these $3,000 or we lose them, but we really need these over here, So we do them combined at the same time, and the math works out. So, does that help?
Mhm.
Okay. There's another question. Was it Lee?
Yeah, something that really hit me, trying to identify my clientele. I used to have an ad that said, offices share with telephone answering and reception. And that did okay, but when I changed that to, are you tired of running your business from your kitchen table?
Right.
That really got the phone ringing.
Right.
It's so much better. And again, it was meeting that need or identifying that need for that client.
Well, the person that hears that or sees that says, yeah, that's me. You've now, you put the flashlight right on it and said, yeah, that's me. I shouldn't be doing that, So yeah, it's finding a solution. You've created now a solution for them to where you've, thrown them under the bus, but you shined a flashlight on them and said, oh yeah, and it's okay if that's how you want to do it. And, I have a solution if you're tired of being there.
Yeah.
You would think
Not say
ridiculous.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of Lee, because I know this is important to him, is the idea that how do you measure the effectiveness of a business card? Because we all pass out hundreds of business cards a year, maybe thousands,
Right?
and maybe only hear back from one person throughout the whole year that I passed a business card to. So, how do we measure that effect?
Same with flyers.
Right. So to me, what I personally would suggest that you do when you're working with somebody or doing it yourself, and say, well, what is my goal? What is my goal for my business card? What do you want somebody to think and or feel when you get when they hand you a business card? Do you want them to feel anxious? Oh my gosh, I need health insurance. I don't have it. So he's a solution. I got to do this now. Are you going to die tomorrow? I mean, whatever the case is. Is there an urgency there? Do you want them to go to your website? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to send you an email? How many cards have you looked at, maybe even your own, that it takes you a lot to read the email address because the email address is about this long?
Or the font is really small.
Or the font is tiny, or it's a thin font on a dark background, things like that. So it's like, are you making it easy? I had one client, with my background in psych, I asked them, it's like, what's your goal? We're creating business cards for you, what's your goal? You'd be amazed. I want to send everybody to the website. I don't want to talk to anybody. Great. Let's have a fun card that says what you do and says go here.
But how do you know if that's working or not?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you can track, you can track the difference in clicks, if you will. You can do surveys online, how did you hear about us? You know, if you're doing